Hello. On behalf of JNU Academic, I, Pankaj Kumar, a PhD candidate at the Center for Political Studies, would like to welcome you all to today's book discussion. JNU Academic, as you know, is an independent platform of the students of JNU. As a group, we strive to enrich the graduate community by organizing talks and discussion on themes that are of social relevance. Past speakers from our forum include Professor Sudipta Kaviraj, Professor Ranveer Samadar, Professor Aparna Vaidik, Professor Aishwarya Kumar, Professor Viren Murthy, and others. Today, we have gathered here to discuss Professor Anupama Roy's book, Citizenship Regimes, Law and Belonging, the CAA and the NRC. Before we formally begin the discussion, let me introduce the theme and the significance of this book discussion. With the onset of globalization, many believed that the boundaries of the nation state will determinately become porous and irrelevant, so much so that the ideal of cosmopolitan citizenship will no longer remain a distant dream. However, the dead body of a 3-year Syrian boy who drowned in the sea in his quest for a better life outside his accidental homeland was a glaring example of cruelty that refugees across the globe have met. It was a bold restatement of the fact that humanitarian impulses are still secondary when it comes to the nation states and their security. The tightening and securitizing of borders across the globe have shattered the liberal naivete vis-a-vis globalization and manifested that globalization was never about people. It is a pity that in an age where Rawlsian difference principle were being extended to think about the possibility of global justice, the world is still fighting over who is a citizen and who is not. Many people are either denied or are on brink of losing what Anna Arendt calls the right to have rights. The attack on citizenship rights are also an attack on the very idea of modernity. After all, what separates the modern world from earlier forms of social interaction is the idea that irrespective of social and economic positions, we all are fundamentally equal. That is why Dipankar Gupta is absolutely accurate when he says that modernity finds its fullest expression in the idea of citizenship. There is no wonder as to why equality of status is the hallmark of the modern idea of citizenship. This is precisely what T.H. Marshall meant when he defined citizenship as a free and equal membership of a political community. No matter how citizenship is defined, be it in terms of legal status or a bundle of rights and entitlement or as a form of identity and belonging. It is individuals and not their identity or social location that is the determining factor, and a modern democratic polity must strive to certain that basic rights are non-negotiable and are not contingent upon political contingencies. The continuous attempt of the far right to disenfranchise certain sections of society forces us to rethink the normative idea of modernity and citizenship. With the CAA and the NRC, India's citizenship regime has slided what Professor Roy calls from transformative citizenship to a bounded citizenship. These enactments not only goes against the spirit of constitution makers but also erodes India's foundational commitment to pluralism. Unfortunately, those who do not share and subscribe to the so-called nationalist values, their loyalty towards the nation is called constantly into question. We need to rethink both the concept of citizenship and its relation with democracy, nationalism, and state sovereignty. One needs to ask, is it even plausible for citizenship to be based on what is called jus sanguinis in a vastly plural society like ours? Can we allow exceptions like NRC, and can they ever be justified from a universal moral standpoint? It is in this broad context that we are discussing Professor Roy's book. I vividly remember Amir sir's remark in one of his classes during master that a book's significance lies in two things: A, the timing of the book, and B, the title of the book. I think Professor Roy's it was a theory of justice. I think Professor Roy's book stands out on both these counts. It is one of the authoritative accounts on our present predicament. With this note, let me formally introduce our esteemed panelists for the day. I don't think that this audience needs introduction of our panelists. As occasion demands, I would briefly introduce our panelists. Before that, we are delighted that the publishers of the book, Oxford University Press Global, are also with us. Mr. Barun and Mr. Tom are with us here. We welcome you. Natasha is also. We welcome her. So, the author of the book, Anupama Roy, is a professor at the Center for Political Studies. She has authored a number of books. Apart from her academic excellence, what we found remarkable about her is her democratic approach and the method of interactive teaching during her classes. We had the privilege of her being the chairperson during our turbulent master days, and we were instantly enamored with the ways in which she dealt with our issues and anxieties. We have with us Dr. Arudra Burra. He is an assistant professor at Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, IIT-Delhi. He works on the intersection of law and philosophy. We at JNU Academic have been wanting to invite him for last 2 years. We are extremely happy that he has finally joined. Then we have with us Dr. Gautam Bhatia. Dr. Bhatia is an advocate at the Supreme Court of India and a well-known public intellectual. We at JNU know him as an ardent supporter of human rights and the values that are enshrined in our constitution. His interventions in The Hindu are read as the bread and butter for shaping our thoughts on the issues that are of crucial social relevance, but otherwise mired with legal jargons. His writings are now part of our essential readings in many centers of JNU. And our last discussant of the day is Dr. Amir Ali. He is an assistant professor at the Center for Political Studies, JNU. Dr. Ali's work centered around issues of nationalism, groups rights, debates in liberal theory, and now increasingly on issues of global conflicts. Whenever we think of him, the image of him trying to make us grapple arguments in crowded classes with his shirt all drenched in sweat and full of intensity just flashes in our mind. A live wire in his classes. Anyone who has attended his courses cannot disagree with the fact that the passion, the energy, and the commitment with which he takes classes is unmatchable. Before inviting our panelists today, I will just briefly outline the format of today's discussion. Professor Roy would speak first, but only briefly, for 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah. The three main discussants, Dr. Arudra Burra, Dr. Bhatia, and Dr. Amir Ali, can then come in that order. After which, she will respond. In the second round, two student discussants, Ramkumar Thakur and Jigyasa Sogarwal, will initiate the question answer session, and then we open it for the audience and take it further. Now I will request Professor Roy to come and give us a brief overview.